You know what I realized? God is exactly like doing the backstroke in water. Legitimately. Just like the water's already there, so is God. One of the tricks to developing the technique with the backstroke is just honestly letting go of your fear of the water, falling underneath. Your fear of it not being there to hold you when it's already there. Right? You got to let go of the fear, and then you got to relax. You kind of got to relax and figure out a way to do what comes natural in that relaxed state of being, right? And when you can figure that out, you can now float through this water. You can look at life as the waters around you, right? And so is God's spirit. A lot of the times, the reason that we're not able to float, you know what I'm saying, with God, is because of our base intelligence. It's because of what our mind is telling us, the logical brain. You're not able to think inside of the creative realm. You're not able to really consider the random chaos that you can't explain logically, which is the spirit, which is God, right? Which is escapable unto you because you're human. So you're not going to understand every minute detail. But these intangibles still exist. And all you got to do is let go of the fear of not knowing. Let go of the fear of what you can't see and don't fully understand. You know, sometimes for some of us, it's what we don't even fully believe. It's hard to really believe in God. It really is. It's hard to believe in certain concepts because of so much of the fantastical elements surrounding it from other people and from the narratives that people have created to illustrate these forces that work in our lives. It's hard, but when you can actually give something your full faith, like I can actually see it. You can see it on every level across the board, whether you're a producer, an athlete, a writer, an architect, some TV host, some YouTuber. It's your will. It's your spiritual will. Do you have this belief, like, that compels you to move in this belief, in this faith, in this conviction? The things that are unseen, can you fully dive in? Because when you can, that's when it looks like magical things start to really happen. And I believe it applies to God as well. I do. Because why wouldn't it? Doing the backstroke is very, very close to God. It's very, very close from a parable standpoint, and in reality to a spiritual walk with a higher force of being. It really is. And I recognize now that you can really operate out of love or fear. I watched a video a while ago where Jim Carrey talked about it. You know, love and fear, that's what he kind of believes in. And I don't like being a jocker. I like to try to stay on the authentic, my perception side of the spectrum. But I will include things that were gems and I recognize as spiritual nuggets. And that's one of them. I don't know anything about Jim Carrey or if he's a good dude or not for real. But at the end of the day, that was a nugget. Love or fear. That was a golden nugget right there. You really can operate out of love and fear. And I feel like a lot of things, if you look at society, a lot of things are either love-based or fear-based, period. So choose a side. And I feel like if you really love something like God or anything that I've named or haven't named, you're going to figure out a way to give your full faith and conviction to that thing. And when you do, mountains move. I realize that. I see it. Because I really believe that God talked to me in 2 different dreams. I really believe that I talked to God. And it's a hard thing to really try to explain to people. It's a hard feeling that comes with it that you can't, because it's not really a human feeling. It's not something that you can really feel as a human unless you're around God. So it's a feeling, bro. It's like it's not an emotion, but it's a feeling. You can tell that something's different and it's so peaceful. And I've experienced it twice. And I want other people to come into this realization, this reality that not only God is real, but life has a lot of intangible elements to it that it's very hard to explain. Like life has some very magical qualities to it, literally. And it's very hard to explain because I don't know all things, right? I can only conceptualize some of this stuff. But if we're thinking in terms of actualizing God, a lot of I can see how in the early stages of my spiritual walk, the reason I wasn't able to fully see God and how it moves, because you can start to see how it moves. You might not fully understand, but you can see when it's moving in your favor in general, right? It's because my faith wasn't fully there and I was operating in fear, right? I might have been operating in anger or some other things, but overall, all of that was out of some type of fear that compelled anger, that compelled this lostness, this blindness, the spiritual blindness, right? But as my faith really started to increase, so in my conviction and my hope and all of these things I started investing in the other side of the character, inside of my avatar. That's when I was able to develop different senses, a different type of spiritual sense. It really comes from your conviction, and it really comes from your fear. I believe for a lot of people of it not being real, looking like a fool, being wrong about it. I can see why people might gravitate to the fear of God on multiple levels and not fully be convinced that it's a real thing. But I can tell you directly, it's literally like doing a backstroke almost, but not even a backstroke, the dead man's float on your back though. Like when you really just let go and release. And I'm telling you, bro, I'm telling you, that's basically that's one way of expressing how God moves. It's already there. But you got to figure out a way to kind of let go of certain things that you know could happen and just know that if you do this technique the right way, you're going to float. It's going to work out. And it's the same thing with God. It's having that faith. We all have faith in things every day. Faith that you're going to make it home from work if you take the same route that your GPS tell you to pull up. Faith that you're not going to get into an accident. Before you go to sleep, you probably don't even pray to God thanking for the next day or for the day that's been given, because you're so convinced and you're so convicted that you're going to wake up like you just know it, that it escapes you, that you might not. That's the level of belief that people need to have with God. Because when it can escape people that they might not wake up and they don't even pray and thank God for the day or the next one, dog, your belief is so strong in your life. Certain absolutes escape you. And therefore you're compelled to now live a certain type of way. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. If your belief system can be that strong in your spiritual system, it'll compel you to behave and live a certain type of way in that as well. I kid you not. You'll have no choice. Because conviction is a weapon. Conviction is a motivating tool. Conviction is fuel. All right, I just wanted to express that. Deal with God in the same manner that you would deal with learning how to float on your back in water. Just relax. I'm gone.